How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FC, and welcome back to the final live stream of Euro 2020. It's obviously going to be revolving around the final between England and Italy. Going over the team selection, I've made no changes as of yet. Going to talk about the lineups, talk about players that we can potentially bring in, and finalize everything in terms of the captaincy as well as that final starting 11. A little bit of a weird game week because we have 5 free transfers, but we're only going to have a full starting 11. So I'm pretty sure lots of you guys won't even need 5 free transfers. And I'll talk about some strategies that you guys can use with those free transfers. And also, we're not going to generally just focus on fantasy. So this is going to be a very chilled stream. If you want to ask me questions about anything in life or anything about FPL, anything like that, to YouTube, fire away. I'm not going to have any restrictions on you unless it's really silly questions, but I'm pretty sure lots of you guys won't ask that. So just kind of fire away. It's going to be a very kind of no rules stream. We're just going to kind of go with the flow and see how it comes about. Pretty sure most of you guys are going to go quite mental with either side who wins. Italy is going to be Italian fans in here. There's going to be probably fans that just don't like England. That's also perfectly acceptable. Then you're going to have those English fans. I personally hope, or I want England to win, so hoping that they can come out and win this fixture. But generally, my prediction is going to be quite boring. I think it'll be 1-0 either way. Probably hoping to go for more of an England side of things. So nice to know who are you guys supporting. Drop it in the comments down below just so we can get some context here. I don't want to kind of just talk about England if there's only Italian fans in the chat. But if you are kind of spread around, we can kind of take both sides of the story. Going over the starting lineups as Not Sidemen is requesting. These are the starting lineups here. So hopefully you guys can see them. So far, we've got pretty set lineups. The only thing about the England lineup that's a bit weird is that they have gone for a 5 at the back or 3 at the back. So however you guys want to kind of put that, so that does mean that Kieran Trippier is playing at that right wing back. And that's, for me, a really interesting option. And that's someone that I'm kind of looking at. And also then Mason Mount. So we have Saka that's out, but now because Mason Mount is playing as more of a right winger sort of character, or right mid, I think that he'll be far more attacking than he's been in previous fixtures. So that's why I think Mason Mount is probably going to be a midfielder that I look at bringing in with my free transfers. Well, Trippier plays 60 plus minutes. So the nice thing about Southgate is that he is very stubborn. He hates to kind of rotate his team. Obviously, if it's not kind of working, they might revert to a 4 at the back. Maybe if Italy are 1-0 up, 2-0 up, then maybe he'll make some changes. But I'm expecting the game to go 0-0 for the majority of the fixture. And that's why I think that Kieran Trippier will be on the field for more than 60 minutes. So I think that that'll be a kind of a fine play to do. So if you want to bring him in, bring him in. I'm not going to kind of focus on the lineups too much because I think generally you guys can go and search this up yourselves, but I'll just kind of run through them quickly. Italian lineup is exactly the same as the Spain game. Di Lorenzo starting at left back or right back, however you kind of want to put it, and Emerson starting at left back. So you don't have to worry about Florenzi coming in. The rest of the side is kind of very set and forget. Barella's not starting, it's Chiesa. And then in terms of the England lineup, already kind of run through them. They are going for a 5 at the back or 3 at the back, however you want to kind of put it. It kind of worries me a little bit that they have gone for a 5 or 3 at the back because that probably means they're more defensive. But also you can kind of view it as they're expecting Italy to park and they want more fullback kind of positioning. In terms of the captaincy, I'm just going to kind of quote the tweet that I posted out. This was the match day 1, or there's only one match day, the captains revolving around Italy and England. I only highlighted 2 Italian players because I think that if you're going to be going for an Italian option, you're already going differential because the majority of people are going to captain England options anyway. So if you're going to captain Italy, you can go for the best options from them, and that's Immobile or Insigne. I would probably lean towards Insigne because, as I said, going to be quite a close game. Maybe Insigne gets kind of a nice point for a clean sheet and so on. So that could be a case to go for. And then Immobile, he's sometimes a little bit hit or miss for me. I don't know if he's going to have the best game today, just because I think that the centre-backs are quite physical in terms of John Stones and also Harry Maguire. So I think it's going to be quite similar to the Belgium game where I thought that he didn't play that well. So in terms of the England options, there's a ton of options. Basically, any option that they have, you can captain, even a defender. I don't know if I'd be captaining a defender. Maybe I would look at maybe a fullback. But the thing about Harry Maguire is that he's definitely good in those set pieces. So the XG is still pretty high in his case. I know that it's only 0.3, but heading chances sometimes aren't the best. But I definitely would focus on maybe Harry Kane or Raheem Sterling. So I probably would go with Raheem Sterling in my personal opinion, just because I think that his non-penalty XG has still been great. He's a midfielder, so if they keep a clean sheet, an extra point, and I think that that's who I'm leaning towards. So I probably will go for Raheem Sterling. A lot of people in chat saying Trippier is a differential 100%, and that's the nice thing about him, is that not a lot of people would have had Trippier because he hasn't been kind of in the starting 11 in every single game. So if you can bring him in, he definitely is a differential that I would look at. And if you guys want to go mega differential, then I would kind of maybe look at captaining him even. Ken's saying, what is your goal to place in Fantasy Premier League for the upcoming season? So in terms of the fantasy content, just a reminder that is on my other channel, Dayvy FPL. I'm looking to release the first video tomorrow, so check out for that. I think the focus is always probably top 10k. I know that it's kind of an imaginary number, top 10k, like what does it even mean? But I think that in the FPL community, that's kind of a set good season, inverted commas. But my question to how high I want to finish is always going to be as high as possible. A little bit of a kind of a cheesy saying there, but it honestly is true. Klitsch Gaming saying Trippier captain. I would do it if you guys need to go differential. That's what it kind of comes down to, if you want to go differential or if you want to be safe. And I think that an England defender is definitely going to be differential, whereas Trippier is even more differential because not many people do own him. Jorginho or Verratti for differential. I think between those two options, kind of similar position. I know Verratti can sometimes get more high up, but I think that you got to go with Jorginho and just hope that he gets a pen. Omar, I don't know if they will. I'm kind of hoping that the Euros doesn't get decided on a penalty. If it goes to pens, fair be it, but I think if it was decided like the Denmark game, it's a little bit rough. So I think that, I don't know if you can rely on that, but if you want to go differential, I would probably favor Jorginho versus Verratti. Pickford or Donnarumma in the starting 11. So in terms of my own team here, so let me kind of talk about the moves. So we can kind of just go over the moves, and let me put the captain on Sterling first, because people will probably join and then question me why I'm going for Insigne. But I think that Raheem Sterling's looks pretty good in my opinion. Jack, Insigne or Chiesa as a captain? Love the content. Appreciate the kind words there. In terms of so I haven't even highlighted Chiesa here, but in terms of Chiesa, Insigne, that's a real 50-50. I think in terms of captaincy, obviously I think less people will probably captain Chiesa, because I think Insigne is probably the go-to Italian option to captain. So I think in terms of those two options, I think that Insigne plays the full game, whereas with Chiesa, I'm sometimes scared that he gets substituted. So that's the kind of the only thing in my opinion that tips it in Insigne's favor for me. Sterling captain, clean sheet Italian defenders are slower normally. So that's why, especially because of this lineup that England are playing, I think that Raheem Sterling will play as almost like a second striker, because Harry Kane has been taking up a lot more of a midfield role. He's played very similar to how he's played for Spurs. And that's why I think that Raheem Sterling could actually get some goals in behind. And as you mentioned there, Bonucci, Chiellini, those players are generally a little bit on the slower side. But I don't even know if Italy will give them that space in behind. It's like with Denmark. I honestly don't understand how Denmark gave that first goal away to England. Like, how, if you're going to defend and park the bus, are you going to give England space in behind? And I don't think Italy will make that mistake today. So I don't know how much you can read into that kind of Chiellini and Bonucci being slow, because I don't think they're going to give space to England anyway. I think they're going to play false nines, mostly likely Mount and Sterling will score. So not something, that's exactly what my kind of thinking is as well. And that's why I'm going for Sterling captain. And for Berardi, I'm looking at taking him out and bringing Mason Mount in. The only thing that's kind of leaning me towards not going with Mason Mount is that if they do have to make changes, unless they do a formation change to a back four, I think that Mount will probably be the player that comes off. So I think Mount will come in for me in terms of Berardi. And then in terms of Simon, I think I'm going to play the odds here and then go for Donnarumma. That's just because if it comes down to it, I probably would split the odds rather than going for some other options. Or what I could do is just go with the straight England backline and then hope that they keep a clean sheet. What chances do you think you have making? So MSF, I'm kind of going through them now. So Mason Mount is pretty much a definite. So let me actually, what I can do is I can make that transfer right now to just confirm it. So Berardi out and Mason Mount in, and then we can take it from there. I need to replace Simon, but I'm kind of in two minds here. I'm either going to go for the full England backline, or I'm going to kind of go for some Italian assets. And what I think I might do is I might just go for a full England backline. And just kind of go for Pickford, and then also go for Trippier. How much is Trippier actually? Okay, he's 5.4, so we can't afford him, but that's fine because we can simply just downgrade the lad Ferran Torres because he's quite expensive. So Trippier will come in. And then we will take out one of these options to just get some budget in. So we'll have almost the entire full back line of England, just not Walker. Is anyone else having problems on Twitter, or is it just South Africa's servers? Because I can't get on Twitter at all. Mount can easily bag a free kick assist, and then hopefully Maguire Stones gets on the end of that, because that'll be absolute gold for our team. I think both teams will score, so if you think both teams will score, it might be best to maybe split the odds there and go for some Italian options and go for some England options, and then maybe if there is a clean sheet on either end. But if you think that both teams will score, then it's fine. Holy Batio, so actually that is true. I should have taken Ferran Torres out instead of Berardi, but we can correct that mistake with 2 free transfers. So luckily the transfers aren't being used well here, but it is kind of the final, so it's not too bad. Using TweakDeck can have no issues for me. Okay, so do you have but you're using TweakDeck. So for me, I can't even get onto the actual website. So I mean, maybe that's mistakes are made, Hugo. So exactly, I don't even know why you guys watch me when I'm making these amateur mistakes. But luckily, they're not going to come back to bite us. How's it, the FPL Irishman? Hopefully you're good. Who are you supporting tonight? I know Ireland, maybe on the side of England, maybe not. Those relationships between the kind of UK is a little bit interesting. How right or wrong were you in your Euro predictions? This Euro has been mad. So as far as I know, I had England going out on the round of 16 to either France, Portugal, or Germany. It was one of those teams. But obviously Netherlands, France, didn't predict that. And in terms of the final, I think I said it's going to be... I don't know if I said Germany, or I think I said Portugal, France, and I said France to win. So for me, my predictions were quite bad. Twitter working fine in India, so that's great. I think you should maybe start Emerson, as it's probably going to be 0-0 for long, and he'll be subbed off early. So Omar, I don't know if I'd be going for Emerson, just because I think that I might as well go differential, because I'm not exactly super high up in the rankings, and I don't really mind if I drop. If you know what I'm saying, this Euros has been super fun for me, just because of the point of view where it's been a little bit different and it's kept me busy. So that's why I think that going for a full stack England lineup, where I think that they're more favorable for their clean sheet, could be a better option. And the reason I'm saying that I think they're more favorable is because I think Italy, like they did against Spain and Belgium, they seem to favor the counter-attack against the better opposition. So I think they're going to sit back and counter rather than England attacking and maybe not conceding that many chances. So granted, they could score one of those counter-attacks. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from my point of view and my footballing knowledge, I think that they might have a better chance of keeping a clean sheet. Who should I captain if I'm defending a 15-point lead in my mini league? Vincent? So the mini leagues are very interesting because you can't look at it like the overall ranks. The mini leagues, the first thing you do is you look at who you're competing against, whether that be the person above you, the 2 people above you, or the person below you, depending if you're kind of protecting or kind of going against. And what you do then is you analyze their squad and kind of predict what they're going to do. Now, granted, with 5 free transfers, it's quite hard to predict, but if they have Kane and you think they're going to captain Kane, then go for Kane. You just kind of have to predict what they're going to do, and the safest option to protect a lead is do exactly what they do and eliminate the variance. This is my exact team, lol. I thought I was the only one. So as far as I know, on Twitter, I saw a lot of people having a full England backline. It was English fans, and they probably thought they're going to win, but I do think that they, in my opinion, they're favourable, so maybe that's why people are kind of going for it. Emerson and Trippier most likely will be subbed off early. I think that maybe Emerson if the style is not going for them, but I don't know how Italy are going to approach this game. And in terms of England, I think they'll keep the lineup unless something's not working or they kind of concede a goal. So a lot of people are saying they got really good ranks here. I think I saw a 6th in the world or something like that higher up. So let me just kind of go up because I apologize for missing that question that you posted. Let me just see. Sorry, guys. Okay. Currently ranked 21st in the world. Am I crazy to go 4 England defenders and Pickford? So that's exactly what I've kind of done. So maybe in my back of my mind, I was reading your comment, but then thinking I was doing it myself. So maybe I just copied you. But I mean, I'm going for it. If you're 21st in the world, there's not much to lose. If you kind of boost up, I don't know. I don't think you get a prize for 21st. But if you do get a prize, maybe protect it. But otherwise, I would just go for it. And then we have the 200th in the world here, Irishman, and we have FPL guy saying he's 100th in the world. During round of 16, and I've been dropped down. Okay, so that's unfortunately sometimes the case is when you're super high up and then you just kind of fall down a bit. But at least you got there. That's more than probably some other people can say. Do you think Barella's worth it? So Barella's an interesting one for me because I do like the way he gets in the attacks. Like for a normal CM, for me he's quite attacking, and that's why I do like him. So if you want to go for an Italian option that's not Chiesa and Insigne, he's probably my third option. I think I would probably only go with Immobile because the strikers, you have 2 strikers. You either go with Harry Kane or Immobile, so you might as well just go with both of them. But I do like Barella as a little bit of a differential there. Could you pick like a squad to defend the lead in your mini league, Vernon? So Vernon, as I said, in your mini leagues, you have to kind of look at who's in there. But I think generally most of the teams will look the same. So I wouldn't worry about defending a mini league in kind of the finals because there's not a lot of variance, because there's not a lot of options to kind of go for. I mean, unless your player goes, the person in your mini league goes for Calvin Phillips and he scores, I don't think there's that much difference. Jorginho on pens. Yes, he is on pens for Italy. And I mean, you can see why. In the penalty shootout, he's just so ice cold. I mean, he completely gave the keeper the eyes. Vernon saying it's some good money, Lars. So if it's some good money, just analyze the team. But unfortunately, there's a lot of luck that comes into these fantasy games, and you kind of can't do anything against that. But what I would kind of do is, if you're defending a league, try and make your team as similar to your opponent as possible. Chiesa got Mane last FPL game week differential captain pick. Okay, so that is true. So I understand what you're saying there. You're saying that in game week 38, when Mane was a good captaincy option, yeah, so that could be the case. Personally, I think it's going to be a tight game, so I'm not expecting too many goals. So to predict the guy who scores is going to be insane. Trippier or Barella, I think Bacon, I'm slightly leaning towards Trippier because he does have that kind of assisting threat and also defending threat. Rian, why so many England players? So personally, I think that England are more favourable to win. So that's what I would kind of do. Are you looking to win the SA League? Light race? No, because I don't think I'm anywhere near the top of the SA League, unfortunately. So I'll leave it to the guys in the top 10. Those guys can fight it out. I'll sit back and sit on the bench for this kind of competition. Why Immobile and full defense England? Also, he doesn't even play 90 minutes. So it's hard to predict who's going to play 90 minutes in the final. So I think Immobile, it's just because I like going for a more attacking option, and that's why I've gone for the forward. This game week is super hard to kind of pick a team because I'm kind of playing the odds here. I'm playing if Immobile scores. I know it kind of wipes out my entire defense, but maybe he gets 2 goals or something like that. But between 2 teams, it's so hard to pick. What's your rank and points total? So let me open it here for you. It's leagues. So total points is 353, and then we are 18k. So you can see in SA I'm like 130th, so that's not great at all. That game week where we took a minus 12 really hit us because maybe I should have kept a wild card for late in the competition. Bench Immobile for defender. Asim, like you can do that, but for me that's just going to be so much stress watching that game. I don't know. I just always like to have more attacking options. But I guess if you want to go differential and you do already have kind of 5 defenders, then you might as well just go for another option. I guess what we could do is we could use the free transfer and upgrade Mailer for for Walker and then go for a full English defense and then bench like someone like an Immobile. That could be an option we do. So let me actually take out Ferran Torres here. And what we'll actually do is we'll bring in a midfielder, not from England. We'll bring in Barella. At this stage, I can't even bring in another English defender, so it doesn't even matter. So I have enough money now because I've brought on Barella. So if you guys do want to go with a kind of full six at the back, that could also be a strategy if you want to go differential. Do you think Chiesa is a good pick for the captaincy? I would say if you want to go differential. Now look, unfortunately because it is the final, there's a lot of subjectivity that comes into it. So if you think Italy will win, I would recommend going with an Italian option. But if you think England will win, then go with an English option. In terms of the England options, I think Sterling's the best. But I can also understand the differential captain of maybe a Luke Shaw or Kieran Trippier. Those would be the two that I look at. And in terms of Italy, I think that you have to go with Insigne or Chiesa. Insigne is safer, Chiesa is more differential. But unfortunately, I can't really predict who's going to score. If you did watch the game, if you did watch the team selection, you would have seen that how close the prediction is between these two teams. It's a real 50-50. Chat, is this the final team with the back four? I can't listen, so ask him. So just, I'll say yes. I'll say yes in chat since you can't listen. Is Sterling the son of Queen Elizabeth? So apparently they're gonna rename England, or they're gonna rename London to Sterlingrad if he does score. Is Sterling the son? Okay, I'll just answer that question. Apologies. Best captain, please, so Punkers. I think I kind of did the rundown. If you want me to go over the rundown, then I can do it again. But hopefully you did hear it. Surely watching Italy play, you have to back them a little bit more. So it's not like I don't back Italy. It's just in terms of who I think are going to do well, I've put all my eggs in one basket. So I'm not splitting the odds here. I'm not going 50-50. I'm going for the team I think could keep a clean sheet and the better chance of a clean sheet. And I'm putting all my eggs in one basket because I think it's going to be more differential. When will you start FPL? I'm going to release my initial draft tomorrow. So check that. Make sure you guys follow that channel, Dayvy FPL, or just follow me on Twitter and I'll post the when the video goes live. Vibe says, is Jorginho on penalties? Yes, he is. Hi, how are you, Power? I'm great, and you? I'm looking forward to a very good final in 15 minutes. I'm hoping that the England-Italy game is going to be a banger, but I kind of think it's going to be quite close. Should I put Saka in my starting 11 instead of a defender? Maybe he'll score assist after he gets subbed on. So can 15, my recommendation would be only go for the options that are starting. I know that they can come off the bench, but you never know with the situation. Maybe England are 1-0 up and they don't bring Saka on, they bring another defender or something. You never kind of can judge the game. So I would bank on the players starting first of all. Who's the Italian player on the bench? It's going to be Barella. I just simply brought him in here because I needed money. And I still have one free transfer, so we can also make a change if we need it. Alexander saying, good luck. Hope that you have a nice vacation from now. So, Alexander, I'm releasing my first FPL video tomorrow. So, a little bit of a vacation, but I kind of consider the Euros to be a vacation because it's been such an enjoyable kind of competition. I did that with Morata too, and it worked. So, but for me, Morata was more of a kind of player that you already had probably. You probably didn't bring him in. So that's why for me it's kind of, I don't know if I would bring in a player that's on the bench. Dave, your final squad. I think this is going to be my final squad. So what I'll do is I'll probably do the transfers now. I perfectly understand if you guys have to drop off, if you're watching with friends and family. Thanks for joining the stream. Kind of just wanted to do this because I know that not everyone can watch it with family and friends. So maybe you wanted to talk a bit of football before the game starts. I won't be doing kind of a watch along because I don't know, for me, I think I'd be quite boring on a watch along. So this is probably going to be the final team, guys. I don't see anything changing from this case. AQ saying I have to go with Italy heavy because I don't want to subconsciously support England. So AQ, that's exactly how you got to play. Like if that makes the game more enjoyable for you, 100% do it. For me, a fantasy game has to be kind of a little extra that makes you enjoy the game more. That's my kind of point of view. Kieran saying, thanks for the help this year's Dayvy, and I'll see you when the FPL season kicks off. Enjoy it. So thanks, Kieran. Hopefully, whoever you're supporting ends up winning. Justify your captain. I think England are going to win, and I think that Sterling's the best England captaincy. Won 500 euros off your teams through the Euros. So, captain, that's exactly what it's about. So, hopefully that's going to help you out a little bit. Buy whatever you want. Buy some. I don't even know what to say. Maybe buy the shirt of whatever team you're supporting if they win. Who do I captain? Am I 15 points ahead in first? So you got to look at who is in your mini league and who you think they're going to captain. If you're protecting a rank, if you're protecting any rank, I would suggest looking at the players and captaining a player you think they will go for. Why not Kane for captain? I think that Sterling is more favorable for me. I know that Kane's the out-and-out striker, but I just think that Sterling's played such a good competition that I think he'll get a return in this game. Can you show starting lineups, Jason? 100%, buddy. Here's the starting lineups. I'll keep it on for about a minute, and then I'll change to maybe captaincy stats and see what we're going. Prayashang, which team are you supporting? I'm supporting England. What's your rank? It's 18k. Italian differentials, Barella, Emerson. I think Chiesa can still be considered a differential in my opinion. Is Maguire better than Walker? Mad, I would say so. And because Walker's kind of playing in this right centre-back position, I don't think he'll be that attacking. And that seems what happens with Walker for England is that they use him as a cover-up. So what happens is if kind of Italy are counter-attacking, they want Walker nearby because of his pace. And his pace gets in behind those Italian attackers and he'll kind of get the ball back. So I don't think he'll be that attacking, whereas with Maguire, I mean, you've seen with the stats, he's pretty attacking from the set pieces. You can see seven shots, 4 on target, and those are only probably from set pieces in the first place. So that's pretty good. No worries, Jason. Who to captain? I would probably favor, if you think England are going to win, I'll go for Sterling, differential, Trippier or Luke Shaw. Or if you think Italy are going to win, I probably would go with Insigne. Immobile or Emerson, who should I play? I would probably lean towards Immobile just because I sometimes favor the attackers. Alexander, so am I understanding this right? The bench doesn't matter now if you have 11 players starting, right? Exactly. Unless there has been an injury in the warm-up or something, then that's the only case that it won't happen. But as soon as the kickoff happens and your players on the field, that counts as them starting. What's your score prediction, Dayvy? 1-0 to England. What formation should I go if I'm on a level playing field with second in my mini league? I think a 4-4-2 is fine. A 3-5-2 is fine. I think any of those kind of formations I would go with. Even a 5 at the back. I mean, the points variation between the players shouldn't be that high. Captain Sterling for me. Donnarumma plus Mount or Pickford plus Chiesa? Vincent, that is such a 50-50. I'm surprised you didn't ask me to flip a coin. Donnarumma plus Mount or Pickford plus Chiesa? I probably would say Pickford plus Chiesa because I think Chiesa is slightly more attacking than Mason Mount is. Vibes, show your team once. This is my team here, so just say if you guys can't see it. But hopefully you guys can. Emerson or Walker? I favor England to keep a clean sheet, so I would go with Walker. Let me just see other questions. Which England defender do you think will likely come off, and when do you think Grealish will come on? So Wesley, I think probably the best chance of Grealish coming on is if it's 0-0. If it's 0-0 or if it's or if Italy are winning. And then I think they have to go attacking. Otherwise, I think Grealish probably stays back because we saw in extra time, I think it was, that Southgate brought Grealish on and then took him off as well because he knows that Grealish defensively isn't that strong. So the only place that I see that Grealish comes on is if it's a 0-0 or a draw, for example, or if Italy are winning. No worries, AQ. Good luck. Hopefully Italy win for your sake. Do you think Donnarumma or Pickford will get more saves? Donnarumma will get more saves. So, that's actually a good point. Donnarumma will get more saves in my opinion. Although Italy are one of the sides that shoot on sight, kind of, whereas England kind of work the ball better and then they shoot when they have better chances. Would you go Belotti or Berardi? Generic. If you're talking about the starting 11, I would try and go with neither of those. But if you're talking about a bench player, I mean, maybe go with Belotti. Kane or Sterling captain? I favor Sterling. I think that he has a higher ceiling, so that's why I'm going for him. If you want to go safe, then I think Kane's perfectly fine. I have a lot of England players, and I'm chasing someone who also has lots of England players. Should I switch to Italian players mainly? I would do that, or I would go for different England players. So if they don't have a Mason Mount, then go for him. But in terms of if you chasing, I would mix up your team from your opponent. Can you captain DCL for fun, please? Vincent, I'm not going to captain DCL because that would jeopardize my entire hard work that I've put into this Euro 2020 fantasy. So I'm still going to go with the guy who's going to play. I mean, is DCL even on the bench? Okay, he is on the bench, so maybe he comes on. But I don't even think he's played a minute in the championship here. Do you think Immobile will be subbed off early? Is he worth it? I don't think that I would bring Immobile in, but because I have him and he's them out-and-out attacker, I think that I just have to play him. In terms of it, I honestly wouldn't. I would understand if you guys wanted to play like a England defender or someone over Immobile, because I just don't see him performing that well in this game. Thanks a lot for the content. Murad, thanks, appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. Hopefully I see you in FPL. I really think England get the clean sheet right. So I think in terms of the teams, they have the better chance. And that's why I think that I would rather put all my eggs in one basket and go for England options. Emerson or Stones, I would slightly lean towards Stones because I favor the England defense. Watch England concede 2 goals now, and like none of my defenders get any points. I can say I've got Donnarumma, Bonucci, Shaw, Emerson, Verratti, Sterling, and Insigne, Chiesa, Saka, Immobile, and Kane in my team. Do you think I could do well with that team? I would probably take Saka out and bring on another option that starts. I mean, Saka, Mount, I think they're the same price. So that's in my opinion, that would be a better option. I mean, Saka could come off the bench and score, but I think you got to go with guys that are starting the fixture. Immobile or Barella, Immobile. Or Barella. I would still go with Immobile. Trippier or Stones? Trippier. So that one's an easy one for me because Trippier and Luke Shaw are fullbacks, so they're going to be far more attacking. Who should I captain, Kane or Sterling? I personally favor Sterling. I think that he is the better option to go for. I'm actually just going to quickly do a little bit of a snipping tool here to get the team. Do you guys also see like on the screen, like for me, my like team was sided to the one side. So now should be better. Okay. Pickford or Donnarumma? I would probably go with Pickford in my case. Shian, thanks for dropping by, buddy. Hopefully you enjoy the fixture. Kane or Sterling, captaincy choice. I favor Sterling quite a lot. 2 out of 3 between Barella, Stones, and Emerson. I think I would go with Stones and Emerson, Michael Swart. Bench players are not visible, so that doesn't matter because they're not going to be playing anyway. So my starting 11's all you guys have to look at. Emerson or Stones? I have 3 other defenders from England. So it depends if you want to go differential or if you want to go safe. If you want to go safe, go with Emerson. But if you want to go more differential, then go for the England options. Unfortunately, this game week really depends on how you guys want to play. Because if you're chasing mini leagues, then you go differential. If you're not chasing mini leagues, then you go safe. Emerson or Di Lorenzo? I would go with Emerson. It's just the way Italy play. Kind of their right back is more of a right centre back, whereas their left back is more attacking. I have Jorginho and Emerson on the bench. If my English players don't do well, doesn't an automatic sub happen? Adrian, no, it doesn't, because there's only one fixture. So if they start, there's no subs you can make. As soon as a player has played, you can't bring them off your bench. No worries. Thanks for dropping by. Amar, thanks for dropping by. What I'm probably going to do is I'll probably end the stream in about a minute because it is 5-2, the kickoff. Missing Spinazzola would have been a great game, exactly. So unfortunately with that injury to Spinazzola, it was quite a rough one because I think that he would have had a great tournament kind of finale against the latter stages of the competition. No worries, Adrian. Thanks for dropping by. Sure for captain, 100%. You can go for that. I'm from South Africa. Trippier or Maguire? I think that's a super tough one, but I think I would slightly lean towards Trippier. No worries, Light Rays. hopefully I'll see most of you guys tomorrow on the Dayvy FPL channel where I do release my initial draft. Safe captain, Kane or Sterling? I think to be honest, both those captains are safe, but I think that Kane is definitely safer than Sterling. Are you going to stream the match? No, I won't. I'm going to go watch it on the big screen. Unfortunately, the monitor is sometimes too small, so I need to have the full HD on the TV. No worries, Pa. Thanks for dropping by. But I'm going to be ending the stream now, guys. Thanks so much for dropping by. As Will says, he's buzzing for the new FPL season. I'm going to be releasing my initial draft tomorrow, so make sure you guys are following me on Twitter for the reminder of that, or just put notifications on for my second channel, Dayvy FPL. But thanks so much for the support on this second channel throughout the Euro 2020 competition. Hopefully I managed to help you guys at least a little bit, and hopefully you're coming out of this competition as an overall better fantasy manager. Hopefully the game is an absolute banger. Hopefully whatever side you support ends up doing well, and I'm just kind of hoping for a good game. I'm just signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.